It was a cold, stormy evening when I arrived at the Old Willow Inn. The wind howled like the cries of the damned as it swept through the barren branches of the willows that gave the inn its name. The innkeeper, a stooped old man with wary eyes, handed me the key to room number 13, his hands trembling as if he wanted to say more but couldn't find the courage. The room was at the end of a long, narrow corridor that smelled of mildew and decay. As I approached, the light from my flickering candle cast grotesque shadows on the walls, shadows that seemed to move just slightly out of sync with my own movements. I unlocked the door, and it creaked open with a moan that sounded all too human. Inside, the room was shrouded in shadows, the only light coming from a small window battered by the storm outside. I decided to explore, my heart pounding in my chest. The air was thick with a musty, earthy scent, and I felt as if I were not alone. As I drew near the bed, I noticed something unsettling, a small, old-fashioned doll, its glass eyes seeming to follow me around the room. That's when I heard it, a whisper, barely audible over the storm. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Leave," it said, "leave while you can." Chilled to the bone, I spun around, half expecting to see someone or something behind me. But there was nothing, only the flickering shadows and the relentless storm. I tried to convince myself it was just the wind, or perhaps my own nerves playing tricks on me. But then, the temperature dropped, so suddenly it was as if the heart of winter had descended upon the room. My breath fogged in the air, and I saw my breath as it puffed out in frantic clouds. I reached for the door, determined to leave, but as I did, the doll I had noticed earlier began to laugh, a hideous, crackling laugh that filled the room and froze my soul. The door slammed shut on its own, and I was plunged into darkness. Panic set in, and I fumbled for matches, my fingers numb with fear. Finally, I got a candle lit, and what I saw in its dim light will haunt me forever. Reflections in the old, grimy mirror, not of my own face, but of a spectral figure, gaunt and pale, standing right behind me. I turned around, heart racing, but there was nothing. The room was empty. I looked back to the mirror, and the figure was gone. I spent a sleepless night in that room, the sounds of whispers and the doll's laughter echoing in my ears until dawn's early light. As soon as the first light crept through the curtains, I left the Old Willow Inn, vowing never to return.